welcome, hello. And today we have a Tron moment. We have a user, we have a real user for the first time for a long time, and a fellow Atlassian community organizer. And we are truly international today. So from Tel Aviv in Israel, joining us tonight is Gal Fatal from HP Indigo, and he will tell us something about how they optimize the integration between Confluence and Jira for better communication. And with that, welcome, Gal, and over to you for your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining and thank you for hosting me in your ACE meeting. I'm really excited to talk to you from Tel Aviv. So let's start with the short introduction for HP Indigo and for myself and my team. So you may not have heard about HP Indigo, but if you saw a Coke bottle with a strange name or a strange photo on it, it's printed by HP Indigo. And this is just one example. A little bit about HP Indigo. It develops and manufactures and markets digital printing solutions, founded more than 40 years ago in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and belonged to HP since 2001, about 20 years. We are market leader and one of the top 10 exporters in Israel. We have customers all over the world. And we have about 2,500 employees located in Israel with different kind of roles. I belong to the development department, and we have about 300 developers and QA engineers. A little bit about myself. I'm working for HP Indigo about 7 years. Previously, I worked for other enterprise companies, Intel, AT&T, and Siemens. I manage a DevOps team and Atlassian team. I'm located, of course, in Israel, in Tel Aviv. I'm an Atlassian community leader in the last 2 years. And I'm also a public speaker. Here's some photos from my last trip to Germany 2 years ago with my family. I have 3 kids. We had a great trip in, we call it Black Forest. And I cannot forget the TTC Lake. I hope this is how you call it. It was a great trip, 2 weeks with all the family. I really had fun there. And some photos from the summit 2019. I talked in this summit. I had a talk about cherry picking Atlassian apps, how to choose the best app for your instance. And the pictures here is from my talk, and on the left side, it's with Scott and Mike, the Atlassian founders. With me is Tanya here, Tanya Gordon, which is worked in my team. And she's also a community leader, and now she's working in Atlassian as a TAM. Okay, so let's talk about the team I manage here at HP Indigo. We established the team 3 years ago, and in order to implement and support Atlassian tools to all R&D. Previously, we used a lot of tools, and it was a chaos. I mean, we didn't have one set of tools. Everyone used his own tool, like Google Sheet, like SharePoint, Office Word, PowerPoints, etc. And everything was a mess. And we decided to look for a solution to manage all our lifecycle development in one place, in one set of tools. We chose Atlassian's tools. And after a long development cycle, today My team support about 1,000 active Jira users. We have 2,000 Confluence active users, 500 Bitbucket users that use Git for source control management. And we also have 10 agents of Jira Service Desk. We manage our tickets to all the HP Indigo to create tickets for my team regarding Atlassian tools, and we manage it in Jira Service Desks. So today we have a lot of users, and we manage all our development life cycles with Atlassian. Apps we use in Jira and Confluence, as you can see in this slide, we have a lot of apps. Only in Jira we have 12 apps, and in Confluence we have more, maybe 30 apps. We also have few Bitbucket apps and Service Desk. Our application implementation is very complicated, and we have a lot of scripts and apps. We all the time add more and more apps to our system. So I'll start with my presentation, and actually I must tell you this presentation is supposed to be on Summit 2020. I selected to talk there, and unfortunately, as you know, the Corona, we stayed at home, and I did not present it anywhere. And I just asked asked community leader to talk, and I'm happy to be here in Berlin and talk to you. So I start with one phrase, big phrase. Successful project starts with collaboration. I mean, if you work with Atlassian, and if you work for any company, you are not working alone. You are working with another people. You are part of a team. You are part of departments. And you are usually do not work with someone that sits in your room, maybe not in your floor, maybe even not in your building, maybe even not in your city, or even maybe not in your country. And today with the Corona, most of the people work from home, and it's really, the collaboration is a key factor to have successful projects. And my slides talking about collaboration. So I'm going to talk about Jira and Confluence, about the integration between Jira and Confluence, and I'm going to present what we are doing in Jira and Confluence, the integration between the tools, and how we expand the integration to resolve a specific case we had with integration. It can give an ideas for you where you can take the integration between the tools. So let's start and talk what are we doing here in HP Indigo with those tools. So let's start with Jira. In Jira, we are managing the developers' lifecycle. As I said before, about 300 developers and testing engineers in our department of development. We are managing the tasks, the features development, the bug tracking. We plan the teamwork in Jira, and we use Agile method. We have 2 weeks sprints. We move to Agile. I mean, when we moved to Jira, we took the opportunity to move from to work in Agile mode. And actually, all the 300 people every day work with Jira, managing all their tasks there. In Confluence, we put all our documentations. I mean, all the documentation, if someone used to write things in Word and send it in email, or save it on the network, or just save it on his own PC, that's over. We are just sharing all documentation in Confluence. We are putting all the knowledge of HP Indigo in Confluence, and all the meeting notes in Confluence. So in Confluence, we have a wide implementation all over the company. And some of the data or documentation related to the development process we have in Jira, and hence it should be linked and should be integration with the Jira processes. So when we are talking about Jira and Confluence integration, if you ask anyone, there is a out-of-the-box integration. If you have a license to Jira and Confluence, you can go ahead and just create application link. It will take a few minutes of configuration, and you have ready integration out of the box, and you can start work and link issues and pages between those two tools. So I'll go over a few examples to over common examples of usage in Jira and Confluence. So typically, and the most common usage is to link issue in Jira to a Confluence page, and using the issue links in Jira. People write documentations or photos or insert some video or anything else, graphs. And this is something you cannot do in just a Jira issue. So we want to link it to a Confluence page. And we're doing it through the issue link in Jira. That's how it looks like. You just go to the issue in Jira, click more, link, and just point it to a specific Confluence page. So this is a really common usage of the integration. Another example is from the Confluence side. You can display issues in Confluence using the Jira issue macro. In this case, you don't want to go into Jira. You want to look at Confluence and see a list of issues. That's how it looks like. You just create this filter with a JQL, specific JQL, and you get a page with list of Jira issues. You can custom the display option. You can see the status or whatever, any other field. This is very convenient for people who doesn't want to get into Jira, but they want to open a Confluence page and just see a list of Jira issues. Another option is to display a data as a chart in Confluence. Managers love to see charts, and you can use a Jira chart macro. Like this example, you can just, again, write any JQL you want and present it on a page. And you can take a page in Confluence and put some macros, not only one. You can see the list, you can see chart, you can see everything. So it's very convenient for managers or team leaders just to get a wide picture or about the progress of the project without the need to go into Jira. And this is out of the box, ready for use, and really straightforward, not easy to use. And that's only examples, and of course there are more. So why we need more? I mean, Jira and Confluence give me enough. They give me out-of-the-box integration. Everything is work. I can link both sides. I can see in Confluence everything I want from Jira. So why we need more? So I'm going to present how we work in HP Indigo and what was our need that we cannot achieve by only out-of-the-box integration, and how we resolved it. So let's start and see how we work. In Jira side, we have Epic, and Epic is present a feature that the program asks us to develop. I'm looking at Jira as a tool for developers to develop features. So we have a few epics to develop, and this epic is divided into user stories, tasks, and other Jira issue types that links to these epics and have assignees. Those assignees and tasks are the list of Jira issue that needs in order to develop this epic and deliver it. It can be only one task, or it can be maybe 20 tasks, and it can be one user or a lot of users. So each task have a assignee, and all the tasks linked to the epic. On the Confluence side, we have, in this example, a system engineer that is writing requirements to this epic. How we are going, what are the requirements from the developers to develop this epic? So he is writing it in Confluence. That's the idea. So all the documents are there. And we use here the out-of-the-box integration and just link it. As I saw before, we just go to the epic and link it to the right page. So everyone can go to the epic, see the link, and go to the page to see the requirements of the epics. Sounds great. So this is really nice, and the system engineer is writing it in Confluence. Anyone in Jira can see the requirements. Everything is good. What is the problem? What did we want to do more than this integration? Our issue is that once the system engineer in Confluence is doing a change, edit the page and change something. Let's say he's adding a new requirement, or editing or changing a specific requirement in the page and publish it in Confluence. Theoretically, no one knows. The assignees from the left side that are working on as a developers or testing engineer, they don't know that this system engineer changed something that may related to their code or impact them. They never know. They can go to the epics and then go to the page and from time to time to see whether someone changed something in the requirements. But this is a bad practice. They will not do it every day. So they want to know if something changes. So the solution we went through is to notify all assignees on documentation change. We wanted that every time that someone is changing a page in Confluence that related to Epic and linked to Epic, the assignees of the task will get notification because it may be relevant for them. And for that, we use the automate Confluence page watchers mechanism. Because if someone is a watcher on the Confluence page, he gets notifications. So if I go back to this slide, and what I really want to have here is to add the developers from the left side to be watchers on this specific page in Confluence, like this. And once they are watchers on the page, they will automatically receive notification for each change. I don't have to do anything else, just put them as watchers. But this is not something I can do out of the box because assignees are on the tasks or user stories, and assignees are just, we add tasks every day with new assignees, and there is no something easy to do it, and we cannot do it out of the box. So how we build this integration, how we succeeded to put all the assignees as watchers on a related page. In Jira side, we created a job, nightly job, that the job is running and searching for all relevant epics that developers work for Jira, in our case, all the open epics, all the epics that currently in development phase. It's search all the user stories and tasks that related to this epic, taking all the assignees of all the issue types that related to this epic, all the assignees and create a list. The list contains a list of assignees and the page we want to put them as watchers. I mean, this is the page that linked to the epic that belong to the user stores and tasks. In Confluence tasks, Confluence size, we created a REST endpoint that received received from Jira a list of users with a Confluence page and just move the assignees and add them to be watchers on this page. Yeah, this is the list, and we call the REST endpoint and with a list of users and just say, please put the users to be watchers on this specific page. And this is, of course, for all epics and all pages in the system. Okay, so how we did it technically. In Jira, we have Script Runner. Script Runner is an app that is prerequisite for it because it gives the abilities to write scripts and create a job and a lot more. So we created in Jira a job, the job that runs nightly, as I said before. This job is parameters are the user that run the job, when it is going to run, we run it nightly, and a JQL query. The JQL query, in our case, is all the epics that are not done because we don't care about epics that already completed. We care about only epics that now in development. And this job configuration also has a code, script code in Groovy. I'm not going to get into this code. If someone wants to have more info, we can contact me later. But in general, the code, as I explained before, go over all the epics and create list of users with the page that need to be they need to be watchers on in Confluence. It creates the list, and in Confluence sites, we have REST endpoints with a smaller script that receive the list from Jira, the list of users with the specific page, and just add the users as a watchers on this specific page. Of course, this is running a few times, maybe 100 or 200 times. It depends how many epics in development are in the query. It runs nightly, and so if a new assignee came or a new task added to a specific epic, there will be a watcher on the page at that night. We decided that once a day is enough because we didn't want to run too much during the day. We wanted to prevent performance issues, and we thought it's enough that it will be updated once in nightly. So that's the trick. And now let's see what we gain from this collaboration between the pages and the assignees. First of all, we have better collaboration, and that's the big issue. Why we have better collaboration? Because when someone change a page and edit, and I get notification and it's relevant for me, it's good collaborations because it prevents situation where oh, you didn't tell me, why did you, I didn't see you remove this requirement, and here it's very clear. As a developer, I read the requirements one time, and I know that if something change, I will get notification automatically. I don't have to worry if someone changed the requirements, because this is directly impact my work. my code, my task. So this creates a better collaboration. And again, as I said before, we are not working together in the same room, and the system engineer may sit in another building, and previous to this solution, he did not know, the developer didn't imagine that he just now changed something in the requirements. So now he gets it immediately, and so the collaboration between the teams is much better. We also gain time saving. We spent less time on searching for documents, to understand the changes, to see them too late. We have a situation that someone developed something, invested in it, and only later he found out that the requirement changed, and it was a waste of time. I mean, why did I not? I did not know about this change. So if I knew it before, I wouldn't continue to develop it. So it's definitely saving some time to developers and for testing engineers when they get online notification about changes in documentations that are relevant to the epic they are working on. And the last one is we see less bugs in the system because the developers stayed updated with the latest requirements. They catch the bugs earlier. So since this change, we see less bugs in total overall. So that's the three things we gained from this change. After we did it, it was about half a year ago that we started this mechanism, and we really see a better collaboration, and the notifications are working, and it's relevant to the people, and we get a good feedback about this change. And that makes the Jira and Confluence integration much more stronger. Okay, that's what we did. So I may did it fast, but that's my story. And thank you, and I'm ready to have a discussion and questions.
Thank you, Gal. So there are currently no questions in the Q&A box. So let me ask one question while I promote everybody to panelists. Are you using any instant messaging to complement that? I don't know, MetaMost, Slack, whatever, to keep in touch or to create alerts between the teams, anything like that?
No, we don't have at the moment. We have Skype, but we don't have a tool that create groups or something like Slack, or we don't have it. We just use emails and Skype, but it's a peer-to-peer talk, but nothing with groups or something like that.
Okay. And all these installations are server installations, so they're all on-premise?
Yeah,
okay.
we are all on-premise. We started on-premise 3 years ago because we had a security issue, and also the cloud 3 years ago was not yet stable, and we chose to go for server installation, yes.
Okay. So, and talking about DevOps, have there been any discussions in your teams about using Git for documentation or using Git flow for generating documentation in Markdown or whatever? Is that a topic? Has that come up?
No,
everything is in Confluence. Okay.
Yeah, everything in Confluence. We use Git only for developing the code, nothing related to documents in Git. We save everything in Confluence.
Okay. So now everybody's on the panel, so you can all unmute and open your video. Gal, I will just end your screen sharing.
Okay.
because then we should be able to see who wants to be seen. So, any questions from the audience? No, not yet. Then I will continue asking. One question from me, what's your process for managing what apps you choose? Do you have a change management process for the Atlassian installation? What does that look like? So somebody from the teams comes along and say, hey, I've seen this wonderful app on Marketplace and I want it tomorrow, please. Or I cannot live without this app from the Marketplace that I've seen yesterday. And could I have it please tomorrow? What's your process? How do you manage that?
Yeah, okay. So good questions. It reminds me the talk I did in the summit about choosing the best app, because we have about few thousands, I don't know today, but we have about few thousands apps for Jira and for Confluence, and it gets it's crazy because, as you said, each user comes and said, example from the last days, oh, there's a great app for Outlook integration. Can you buy it? Can you please purchase it for me? Yes. So I divided it into two phases. In the first phase, when we loaded with Atlassian tools, we took a vendor that helped us to implement Jira, partner, and he recommended us a few apps according to our needs. So when we went up to Jira, we had about few apps. Since then, many requests for new apps came from everywhere. So we created something that called Jira Forum. The Jira Forum is a weekly meeting between different stakeholders. We bring someone from different roles. We have about 8 people. We sit together and we get all the requests from anywhere, and we are talking about it, and we try to together to decide if about priorities and about new requests. It can be an app request or something else that requires a script or requires something else to purchase or not to purchase or to develop. So we try in common to decide and not take it by only me as an Atlassian admin manager. We hear a lot of voices and we take a decision together. So, because otherwise it's really chaos. Everyone wants apps. So in a group, in a forum, it's easier to decide.
So it's kind of like a process retrospective that you have with major stakeholders every once in a while, something like that, to talk about what can we improve.
Yes, representatives from each department together, and then we try together to look on all the requests and prioritize and decide which one of them and necessary, and then we take decisions there.
Okay, and we have one question in the chat now. About the integration you talked before, does it happen that some developers are overwhelmed with too many change alerts they get after changes on Confluence were made? So you come to the office in the morning and you have 1,000 mails in your mailbox because your script sent every alert at once.
Yes, that's a known issue. And we don't have, yes, we heard about this overload from people, but in the other hand, it removed a little bit a mail traffic. I mean, so we have more notification for Confluence, but less emails from people that needs to update about changes. So people get used to it, yes. And the feedback is that it's very good, because we tried to direct the notifications only to the pages that related to this assignee. I mean, that's why we did this query and tried to notify only about relevant pages.
Okay. And do you integrate that in any dailies? Do you have any daily stand-ups in the teams? Yeah.
Yes, we have three times a week. 3 times a week we have a daily stand-ups in our.
Okay.
We work in 2 week sprints. We have retrospective, daily stand-ups, planning, pre-planning, all the agile steps.
Okay. So, any other questions from the audience? You should all be able to just open your microphone and ask if you want to, or write it in the chat. Or let me know if I did something wrong and you cannot just unmute yourself. Okay. No other questions.
Hi there, Karen here. Just a quick question about the type of documentation. The examples that you provided earlier were mainly for engineering specs. I'm just wondering if it applies to other types of doc, maybe user guide, things like that. Yeah. Was that question clear enough?
So do you also have the user manuals and user-facing documentation in your Confluence?
Yes, yes, yes. We have. It's not related to the notification process I just talked about, but we do have a lot of all the documentation of the company moved to Confluence. I mean, user guides and even welcome to new employees and trainings and video trainings and all the meeting notes, everything. We try to make your PC empty. I mean, don't work on your PC, work on Confluence. I mean, in this way, we see revisions of the pages. People can, we can search for it, and we try to educate everyone not to save anything on their PC. I mean, all the documents you write, just do it in Confluence. It's not related to the identification process I just said earlier, but this is the answer to you. Everything, all the knowledge of the company includes even secrets on the conference. Everything that's related to development and of our products.
Does that answer your question, Karen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions from the audience? No. Don't be shy. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Or you have to meet Carl again in another user group down the road.
Maybe I'll put a mask and they will be. Now okay. We can ask.
So
I have one question. Sorry, this is Bonita.
Yes.
Hi. One of the problems that I have is having different spaces and projects across teams and deciding when to create a separate space or including. So do you have any tips because we have a product team, we have developers, we have testers, we've got business, we've got salespeople, and all of them coming from a different functionality of the space. So do you have separate spaces for all those people, or is it one project, separate projects? So I guess my better question is, do you create projects based on products, or do you create projects based on the teams?
Okay, great questions. We create projects based on teams. In Jira, we have about 100 projects. Each team have its own project. In about 20 people in one project, they work together, and we have a project lead that get permissions to manage the project in Jira. So that works very good. In Confluence also, we have teams, a space per team. We manage it. We don't just add it. We added in the last 3 years team by team. I mean, every time we added a new team to Confluence, gave them training and all the how to work, etc. We didn't open it right away to 1,000 people. No, we just added every time 20, 30 people, train them. We have a position in Indigo of a knowledge management person. That's a full-time job position that is responsible for the knowledge and the Confluence, how to divide the knowledge, where to write it, guidelines about where to put, how to put and where to put. It's not a jungle. I mean, that was our, before we started, our main conference from conference was that it will become like a jungle. I mean, we saw it in other companies that people write, it becomes a chaos. No one knows where to write. And so we took a position for it, and we did it phase by phase and space per team with very clear rules how to work in conference.
Okay, thank you.
So this knowledge manager is something like a gardener for your conference. As soon as it starts growing into a jungle, he or she can cut back the growth and put it into shape again, something like that. So that it's okay. That's interesting. We had a couple of weeks ago, Hubert shared with us that in eBay, where he's working, Trello is becoming more and more of an issue. So many teams are asking for Trello because they like Trello better, because it's easier and ad hoc and whatnot. Is that an issue at HP or Indigo in any way?
No.
No.
We don't
No
have
Trello.
Trello. No.
You don't have Trello. Okay. So any other questions from the audience? Last chance.
I have another question. This may really be basic. Earlier, you mentioned that the structure that you're following is that you use Epic and then stories and then tasks. You also make use of subtasks to ensure like the mapping is directly under each user story. I'm just wondering.
Yes, we do use a subtask, but it's not, let's say, it's not a must. I mean, sometimes people use it and sometimes not. We give the users the option to use it, but when we scan the epics and all the user stories that belong to this epic, we also scan the subtask assignees, so they also be watchers on the conference page. Yes.
Okay.
I have also a question related to that structure. So currently we found out that we need another layer of the hierarchy, so something above Epic. And I'm wondering if that structure can be also extended, and do you have some kind of that requirements or like future plans, like let's say above the Epic's initiative or objective or OKR or wherever?
Yes, we do have it, but we use Jira only for development, and we don't have another layer. But we are ready for it, or we think in the future we will add another layer of the program layer. And I know it's not out of the box, so you can just do some links, some tricks with links. I mean, you can just link the epic to a new issue type, call it, I don't know, epic 1, or just, I don't know, epic gal, and just link it to the epic, and all the other things you want to do, you may need to do some scripts to support reports, to support other actions, but that's the way to add another layer by link.
Yeah, so we are also doing like that, but the biggest complaint from our business units are that there is no visibility of the structure at all, because, and
Right.
yeah, so we are currently investigating that problem quite intensively, and so we are thinking about portfolio structure or any other add-on that can work it, because as we know, Atlassian doesn't have many plans to move the roadmap planner from cloud to server or data center version.
Right.
At least what I know. So it's their like selling feature for cloud version.
Right.
Okay. We have another question.
If I can just jump in.
Oh, hi, Atlassian.
Hi.
Hi, Atlassian. Hello.
We have insider here.
Oh.
So just to answer your question, any visibility for hierarchies from the Atlassian side is with Jira Align, right? This is the solution. And I'm not pitching anything, right? This is just, you know, my understanding of things. But if you want to use on premises, and if you are on premises and you need a better visibility for higher issue types that are above Epic, I guess the easiest way is to go to structure. This is what they do. They're very good with hierarchies. It's unlimited hierarchies, and you can do calculations, and you can present it in structure. You can also export it back to Jira if you need to save the data in Jira fields and then use it in another tool, like EasyBI, for example. But you know, to solve the first issue of presenting the hierarchies, I would say structure is the best. Portfolio or advanced roadmap for Jira, Atlassian Labs to rename things, yes, is also a good solution, but it's, I would say that it's too complicated. Unless that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do planning of a portfolio, then you definitely should go there. But if you're only trying to present things, like have a visibility of hierarchies, then portfolio is too complex.
Tanya, I will tell you the funny story, because Atlassian pitches are really good, because that's the story. So our big boss came to me recently, like we had a Zoom call, and said, hey, listen, I just watched tutorial for, or like preview of Jira Align. I need that now.
Of course.
And I said, perfect, but you know that it's only software as a service. And he said, no, I want it on premise. And I said, what can I do? And he said, okay, tell me what you need and I will investigate the topic. And also my pick will be structure for overview of that, all the hierarchy. But Jira Align on-prem, I'm putting all my money on the table and buying that tomorrow.
Do you know how much money you need? Are you sure you have enough money?
It's not my money, it's eBay money, so I can spend somebody else's money. It's easy, yeah?
It's very expensive too. Yeah.
Yes, and if the big boss is calling, then, you know, it's easy to pull the triggers,
Yeah.
pull the strings. But yeah, Jira Align is really cool. And also I watched the tutorials and it looks really awesome, but unfortunately not on-prem so far. And I know there is no plan for that. That is what I heard.
If that isn't a sales pitch, I don't know what is. So
I can add something here. I can add something here that we are in a phase of looking for maybe to move the conference to cloud version. Because we just saw that some apps just don't support server anymore. They just tell us, like Lucidchart, sorry, we are not supporting from next year server, enjoy. So we are afraid that in about five years from now, if we stay on premise, we'll be dinosaurs or something like very old fashioned. And we started to think about moving to cloud. Yes.
Gal, I agree with you at all, because my personal opinion, there will be no Jira server in the future, and data center, as you said, it will be dinosaur, that legacy version that only that companies that really don't want to move to cloud, they will stay. And that, especially that if you can see right now what they are developing, a new feature, it's only cloud based. Like a lot of my users are saying, why I don't have a roadmap? It's in the cloud. And you know, the sales pitches are only for cloud everywhere in internet. You open even your private Facebook and you see roadmap for Jira Cloud. At least maybe it's my Facebook, sorry. I'm too enthusiastic about my job.
Targeted advertisements work.
Tanya is currently thinking about all the NDAs that she signs and that she cannot tell us anything and she would like to. So.
No, why not? I can tell you everything. Atlassian is an open company.
Okay.
That's true.
To tell you my insight out of it, I think that server is going down. But data center is not going anywhere because Atlassian Cloud, Gal, it's already nighttime.
They
should go home. Atlassian Cloud is in the works to be suitable for enterprises, right? So there's an early access program for 10K users, and Atlassian is working very hard on moving users to the cloud. And there are several enterprise companies that are already in the midst of migration, but there are still lots of enterprise companies with more than 10K users, a lot more, and they are very far from cloud.
Tanya,
So
if I
data
have
center
you
is there.
here,
It's not gonna leave us anytime soon. I don't think that data center users are gonna be like dinosaurs. It will take a lot of time. The thing is that Atlassian really, it seems like Atlassian is working only towards cloud, and that there are a lot of features development in the cloud, and they only talk about cloud during Summit. But there are a lot of there's a lot of development in the data center arena, mostly the on performance issues and like security issues, and that's why I guess it's not that, you know, sexy features to present
so
during roadmap, but it is
only
going forward.
only performance and stabilization.
Stability, yeah.
Where are the features? Bring me the feature to the server.
Tanya, do you know exactly how it works if I would like to migrate small instance from on-premise to on-cloud? So how does it work, the process? Because I didn't investigate that topic at all. Maybe you have some experience, or you know how it should look like. I have like 200 users instance, and they want to move to cloud because they said they are better features and faster, and especially for geolocation issues that we have right now.
Jira or Confluence?
Jira server to cloud, but our small instance, not the main one with all the thousands of add-ons. They are like only couple of add-ons and only the biggest one. So I already checked the compatibility of the add-ons, and all of them are in cloud. I know that it can be the different add-on and different features that already I read, but I read also that you can contact Atlassian, and is it needed or what I should check? I also checked the Active Directory, but it's okay because they are it's used Google for that. So what else I should look at before doing that or during doing that?
So the best thing you can do is to connect Atlassian. Just open a ticket and they will connect you to the they will connect you to the relevant personnel. There is a team who handles Atlassian migrations to cloud. They will help you and enable you to do this process in the best way you can. The second thing that you should consider and check, and this is a milestone that if you can't comply with, that may be an issue, is Atlassian Access, because all Atlassian Access is that identity manager for cloud, and I mean there's no point of talking about cloud migrations if Atlassian Access is not in the picture. So you should first check this out, and then and they will help you with that. They will drive the conversation towards these bullet points and will help you on decisions.
Yeah, so they have already instance of the Confluence in cloud, so the access is shared between the application as far as I know. So it shouldn't be any issue, because if they have already one instance there, so access is already there.
So awesome. So
cool.
It's easier.
Then I will reach out to that. So it's open a ticket on the support, and they will connect me with the problem, because I heard during some kind of webinars or somewhere that you should reach out to Atlassian because they are helping.
Yeah, Atlassian also offer tools to migrate your data to the cloud. And it's also important to check which apps you have, because you have to check one by one how to do the migration.
The most difficult pinpoint of cloud migration is migrating apps data. Okay, because Atlassian will help you migrate your Jira data, your projects and issues and everything, but your apps are not residing on Atlassian Cloud. they are residing on each vendor's cloud. So if you have, for example, EasyBI builds a separate database with all its data inside, and then you need to migrate it. They have, if a vendor has a cloud version of their app, you should reach out to each vendor separately and ask for guidance.
Yeah, exactly. I read that today, but luckily I checked, and mostly all that vendors you can easily recreate. So script runner, you can just recreate probably some stuff. Oh, maybe I don't know, because
The
scripts are working,
very
or
different.
very different. Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool. And
In
then I need to
cloud,
check
you write
scripts.
REST APIs and not Groovy.
Ah,
I mean, you
that's
use
right.
Groovy, but
That's right. But
it's
I need
not a
to check how
JDK.
many of them, what they have exactly there. Yeah, right.
Maybe they can help you out rewriting them.
Oh, that could be also idea.
I don't know. You can try reaching out.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, now I know what to do. Cool.
Of course.
And by the way, how are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while. You look really good, so.
Thank you. I'm good.
I see that Atlassian is treating you really well. Sorry, Gal, don't listen to that. No offense.
We're all supposed to meet on Summit, and that didn't happen. Yeah, I'm still crying about that. But yeah, I'm good. I'm in the US now, and I work with Atlassian. I'm a TAM.
But you moved permanently to USA?
Yeah.
Ah, congrats. So you are in Silicon Valley?
No, I'm in Boston.
Boston, okay. So East Coast.
East Coast.
Oh.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. We have one more question from the audience. Completely different topic, but Gal, another question for you.
Okay.
Since you do not have Trello, do you use any other tools, method for better self-organization, task management? So the IT department works with Jira, but what about other business teams? Do you have any recommendation? So like marketing or whatever, or if I want to have my own personal Kanban or whatever, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So currently in Jira, we manage only the developers, the 300 developers. We have some more teams that joined us, like the IT team or some BI or others, but we did not reach all the other, like you mentioned, marketing, no. And it's in our plan, and it's a big challenge. It's our challenge. We don't know how to do it exactly yet, but we also take a look on Jira Align because we think it can give us a better solution for all organizations. That's the point. If we want solution for all organizations, we may need to look for Jira Align. So the answer is we are not yet there with marketing or other teams that are not R&D.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience?
About Jira Align, maybe also there's some integration with the Jira server or data center?
Yes.
You check that? Because I didn't, to be honest, but
no, I don't
maybe
know.
in the future.
Not sure.
There is an integration, there is a connector. They're working on improving it, but it's there. I know about several customers that are having some issues with it, but it really depends on your implementation. The fact that some users have issues doesn't really say anything about yours. But yes, it's in the front of development. They're really improving that.
But do you know the companies that are using both, for example, Jira Data Server on-premise and connecting to the Jira Align and checking the stuff there?
Yeah, that's the current implementation.
Cool.
You should
because
remember
currently
that,
we migrate to Google Cloud.
So
maybe we will connect from Google Cloud then. But we need, in Germany, it's not that easy to integrate with anything as software as a service. The policy here is awful. No offense.
Specifically in Germany, or like in general in Europe, there are many GDPR.
Especially in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
With data shoots and people afraid of that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Germany is very special in that area. I'm actually trying to get somebody on the show who is running Jira in a bunker for the German army. So he has built a high security, it is really in a bunker. It's in a bunker in an army base with an armed guard in front of it. So I tried to get that on the show. So,
but it's getting better and better. So
yeah, of course.
So it takes more time, but it's getting better and better. So 1, 2, 3 years, maybe we will also reach that point that we will be able to integrate.
Just remember, Jira Align is new to Atlassian, by the way. They just purchased it a year ago, Tanya?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
About a year ago, yeah.
So one more question maybe from my side, because any of you has experience with Miro integration somehow with that Atlassian product? Because I know that it's a new tool on the market and it's really great, and all our business are running around.
Yeah, Miro is not new. It's a bit older, but I have experience with that. Yeah.
But did you integrate that, or there is any integration that you can do?
There's integration. There's actually quite a lot you can do. You can make your Jira boards visible in Miro, and you can push the icons around. You can, if you remember the presentation from Laurent Pai, because he described their integration into Cucumber, where they basically did the example mapping in Miro, and then attached the example maps in Miro to the Jira ticket. And you also can attach the boards and in Confluence pages, not only as links, but also as snapshots. So there's actually a very tight integration between the two. So, and I found that use case by Laurent, from Laurent, very interesting, that he's doing his example mapping in Miro with sticky notes for the remote team, and then he attaches it to the feature in Jira and then starts writing his Cucumber code in Cucumber for Jira, and then creates the test and everything from that. So that was very impressive. And I will be doing something about remote event storming in 4 weeks in Miro, and hopefully we will get, unfortunately, those people do not like Jira. So that's it. Whenever you talk to somebody from the collaborative modeling crowd and who really likes Miro and whatnot, they do not like Jira. They are very unhappy that they do not have their board and their sticky notes anymore. So that's so talking about Jira Miro integration is difficult. But I actually want to prepare a presentation for that in the next couple of weeks.
They don't like Atlassian, and Atlassian will acquire Miro, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah. And actually, I had a confirmation from Miro to give a presentation here about Miro Atlassian integration, but they never came back to me. So that was confirmed. I had a date, everything, but then they disappeared. I don't know why. They are maybe also afraid, or Atlassian is in the process of buying them. You never know. So maybe next week there will be a press release. Atlassian bought Miro for an undisclosed.
I don't really know, but I don't think so.
You never know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That was the same story like with Trello. Yeah, it was exactly the same. Trello doesn't like the Atlassian, and then we are now Atlassian.
Yeah. And but if you look at the integration and what every tool brings, that's a very nice combination, and it's something that you should have. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them that there will be a press release in the future. But that is not official. It's just guesswork. It's just me looking into my crystal ball and wondering where the people from Miro went after I had a confirmation for a presentation here. So because there's an Atlassian guy, which I will not name, who is now product manager at Miro, and he actually wanted to give a presentation here, and then he disappeared. So I do not know what happened to him. So maybe it was I don't know. I had this vision from him coming home. Somebody puts a bag over his head and abducts him somewhere so that he cannot speak. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, but Miro Atlassian integration. Yes, maybe in September I can give a presentation about that. I would really like to do that.
My 5 cents on that, this integration does not support data center yet. They're working on it.
No.
that support only cloud and server.
Yes. Yes. So what I would present would be cloud integration. Everything that you do not do in cloud is not really nice. Let's put it that way. So if you want to have a really nice integration with Miro, use cloud. If you want to use server, that's, yeah, it works, but not really nice.
Like with all other apps.
Yeah,
We used to that.
exactly. Yeah, it's this Marie Kondo moment. Does it spark joy? No. It works, yes. Does it spark joy? No. So you shouldn't do that. So, but with cloud, it really sparks joy. So that's the Marie Kondo moment that you have. Okay. Anything else from the audience? Questions? Going once, going twice, and gone. I have a couple of news for the next couple of weeks. We talked about cloud migration. So next week, Botron will be here, Peter Tutiarski himself, and he will talk about Power Admin and the future of Jira administration. And that may be a helpful tool for migrating Jira to the cloud as well. I don't know, but you can ask him. So you can ask him himself. We will have Adaptivist here in 2 weeks with a case study about a large-scale cloud migration that they did for ARM, the chip manufacturer. So they migrated, ARM has a 20,000 user installation, global, and they started migrating 5,000 user chunks into the cloud with everything. So all the technical documentation and whatever chip manufacturers do in their daily life, that move to the cloud. And that is also, you can also ask a few questions about security and confidentiality, because chip manufacturers, and especially ARM, by nature are a very secretive bunch. They do not like to share their documents. So that's what we have. And you can have breakfast with us on the 25th of June. I recommend it. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. And where you can talk about anything and everything. So, and we are thinking about a new format that we want to launch once Atlassian gives us the new Meetup Pro integration. Otherwise, we will have to do it by hand. So there is a renaissance of our Meetup group in the future, and maybe fully automated and integrated. We have been promised that it will be fully automated and integrated again someday in the future. So these are the news. Thank you again. You will find this video on YouTube. You will find all our videos on YouTube, and you find all our stuff and past and present and future on our archive at aug-bb.atlassian.net. That is our Confluence page, and of course on ice@atlassian.com. So see you around. See you next Monday. Thanks again to Gal.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Thanks to Tanya for joining in.
Thank you.
And I definitely would have had a haircut this morning if I had known that Atlassian would be in the house. So I feel underdressed. That's not fair. So
I would be also in tie.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
we're all working from home.
Yeah, but at least a shave and a haircut. So that would be.
You know that joke that you have a tie and then you don't have a pants. That's a new joke. And then you need to come back to the office like that because you are used to that.
Exactly. So that will be casual Friday from now on. So again,
some pants.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Gal.
Thank you.
All the best to the USA and to Israel and to wherever you are. And see you around. See you soon.
Yeah,
Stay healthy.
Bye-bye.